Most people believe that comfort is something you earn, a reward for working hard, for surviving stress, for playing by the rules, a stable job, a predictable routine, a familiar life. And on the surface, it looks like success. Nothing is falling apart, nothing is urgently wrong, bills are paid, days are repetitive but safe. The problem is not what you see, the problem is what you don't see. Because comfort doesn't feel dangerous, it feels reasonable, it feels responsible, it feels mature, and that's exactly why it's so expensive. Not in money, but in something far more valuable, your future. The comfort zone is not a place where bad things happen. It's a place where nothing happens. No growth, no evolution, no meaningful change, just slow, silent stagnation disguised as stability. And most people will spend their entire lives there without ever realizing the cost. The human brain is designed to avoid uncertainty. From an evolutionary perspective, unpredictability meant danger, hunger, predators, social rejection. So the brain learned to associate safety with repetition, with patterns, with what feels familiar. That's why doing the same thing every day feels easier, even when it's not making you happier. The brain prefers a known problem over an unknown possibility. It would rather tolerate dissatisfaction than risk discomfort. This creates a powerful illusion. You start to believe that comfort equals peace, that stability equals security, that avoiding risk is the same as being smart. But psychologically, what's really happening is simple. Your brain is choosing short-term emotional safety over long-term progress. And the longer you stay in that state, the harder it becomes to leave. Most people don't get stuck because they fail. They get stuck because nothing forces them to change. They earn just enough to survive, but not enough to build anything. Their life is not painful enough to provoke action, so they adapt. They adjust expectations. They normalize mediocrity. They say things like, "At least I have a job. It could be worse. I'm comfortable." And slowly, those sentences become a psychological cage. Because comfort removes urgency, it removes hunger, it removes the internal pressure that pushes people to experiment, learn, take risks, and build something new. You don't quit a safe job to start a business when your life feels tolerable. You don't study new skills when your routine is predictable. You don't redesign your future when the present is not unbearable. So, comfort becomes the perfect trap. It's not painful enough to escape, not fulfilling enough to feel alive. And years pass. The real cost of the comfort zone is invisible. You don't see it on your bank statement. You see it in missed versions of yourself. The business you never started, the skills you never learned, the opportunities you didn't take because they felt uncertain, the cities you never lived in, the ideas you never tested. Every comfortable year quietly kills dozens of alternative futures. And the most dangerous part is that you will never feel the loss in real time. You only feel it later, when you look back and realize that nothing fundamentally changed, that you evolved biologically but not existentially. You aged, but you didn't grow. There is a specific type of person the comfort zone creates. Someone intelligent, capable, full of potential, but permanently almost. Almost starting, almost changing, almost trying. They consume content about success but don't apply it. They talk about plans but delay execution. They feel busy but not productive. They feel tired but not fulfilled. From the outside, their life looks fine. From the inside, it feels unfinished. And because nothing is collapsing, they stay. Comfort feels good in the present. Freedom feels uncertain in the beginning, but only one of them compounds. Comfort gives you stability. Freedom gives you leverage. Comfort protects what you already have. Freedom builds what you don't have yet. Comfort avoids risk. Freedom learns to manage risk. And here's the paradox. The more you seek comfort, the more fragile your life becomes, because a comfortable life depends on external stability, on one income, one job, one system you don't control. Freedom is the opposite. It's anti-fragile, built on skills, adaptability, optionality, and psychological resilience. Leaving the comfort zone doesn't feel heroic. It feels irresponsible, scary, socially risky. People around you may not understand. They may even discourage you. Because when you challenge your own comfort, you also expose theirs. Your growth becomes a mirror, and most people don't like what they see. So the system reinforces itself. Society rewards conformity. Families reward predictability. Schools reward obedience. Jobs reward stability. Very few structures reward exploration. So staying comfortable feels not only safe, but socially correct. The most dangerous moment is not failure. It's contentment without fulfillment. It's when your life is good enough to not change, but bad enough to not feel meaningful. That middle zone is where dreams die quietly. Not with drama, not with crisis, with routine. Escaping the comfort zone is not about quitting everything tomorrow. It's about slowly reintroducing controlled discomfort into your life, learning something new every month, taking small financial risks, starting projects with no guarantee, putting yourself in situations where you don't feel ready, not to suffer, but to grow. Growth always feels uncomfortable at first because it requires a new identity, and the brain resists identity change more than anything. But the only alternative is staying the same. The final truth. The comfort zone is expensive because it charges you in years. Years of unrealized potential, years of diluted ambition, years of becoming a version of yourself you never consciously chose, not because you failed, but because you stayed comfortable. And one day, the comfort will still be there, but the time won't. If you're still watching this, it means something inside you recognized the pattern. Maybe not consciously, but you felt it. That quiet discomfort that appears when you realize your life is stable, but not expanding. Predictable, but not exciting. Safe, but not meaningful. And the most dangerous thing you can do now is nothing. Not because your life is bad, but because it's good enough. Good enough to postpone change. Good enough to stay where you are. Good enough to slowly trade your future for routine. So, here's a simple question, one that doesn't require motivation, money, or a perfect plan. What is one thing you know you should start but keep delaying because it feels uncomfortable? A skill, a project, a decision, a conversation, something that would move your life forward but also disrupt your current identity. Write it down, seriously, not mentally, physically. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today, still in the same place, with the same habits, the same fears, the same excuses. Not because you failed, but because you stayed comfortable. And that's the real cost of comfort. This channel exists for one reason, to help you think differently before life forces you to. Not through motivation, but through awareness. Because awareness is the only thing that makes change sustainable. So, if you don't want to keep drifting on autopilot, subscribe. Not for content, for perspective, for ideas that challenge the version of you that's too comfortable to grow. And if this video made you think of someone specific, someone who feels stuck but stable, send it to them. Sometimes the wake-up call doesn't come from inside. It comes from a screen at the right moment. This is your moment. Don't let it turn into another comfortable memory.